Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Kelly.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is One Debt from Murder. So this is set in Arizona. We're going to the hot state.
All right. They have donkeys there, don't they? No.
Totally. There's donkeys all over the West.
That's okay. We're doing debt. Okay.
So there's a mother and daughter who they're the best of friends. They've built up an awesome and successful business together. So
this is highly unlikely.
Yeah, this is like very unusual. This is what we all want to strive to be. But the mom's name is Loretta Bowersock.
Okay. Bowersock. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I'd never heard that before, but her daughter is Terry, and their business is called Terry's Design and Consigned Furnishings.
Oh, how did Loretta get out of the title?
She's like, I'm old. Never mind.
Don't worry about it. Loretta doesn't have a good ring to it.
I don't know. It kind of does. I guess that'd be more of like that'd be a great Southern shop.
Yeah.
Loretta's. Or like a breakfast joint.
Oh, that does sound good. Like a nice diner.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. So they specialize in lightly used furniture and home decor. So it's like a consignment place.
Oh, cool. Okay.
The two have killed it in a good way, which is unusual for this podcast.
Usually when we're talking about killing it, it's not in a positive light.
Right. But they're killing it in a positive way. The business becomes a multi-million-dollar chain with 17 stores in Arizona and 6 other states.
Consignment furniture?
Yeah.
Who knew?
I've totally missed the boat. What am I doing?
Didn't know it was that lucrative.
I didn't either.
Okay. Damn.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
I'm shocked.
I know. The mother and daughter duo become famous locally for their wealth and their commercials. Like everyone's like, yeah, those are the rich people down there.
Wow.
But they're popular and they're well loved in the community. They give back a lot. They're great people.
Good for them.
Totally. Poster children for the American dream as far as building a business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they're so good at what they do that Oprah featured Terry on her show.
Get out. They did that good
They did that good. And like, look at this woman killing it. So Oprah takes her on.
But Oprah didn't do secondhand furniture. Come on.
True.
I mean, have you seen the Oprah's favorite things? And it's like, yes, you should get your loved one this $300 toothbrush. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not in my Christmas budget. Sorry.
Well, maybe it's Oprah's furniture that they're consigning.
Oh, well, they could make a killing with that. She could just filter it to them. Yes, she probably redecorates every 6 months and they get a whole new inventory, right? God. Okay.
Totally. Maybe that's what happened. Avon also gave Terry its Woman of the Enterprise Award. I think Terry's kind of the head of the business. Her mom helps do a ton, but it's kind of Terry's face of it. Both of them, but more so Terry. So, and I think I read that Arizona gave her like Woman of the Year, Business Person of the Year or something at one point. So these people are
consignment furniture, huh? Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, blown away. So Loretta, she's now in her senior years.
Okay.
She's not satisfied, though, because she's lonely. She's not married. She's got this great business, but she's lonely. She doesn't want to spend her years alone.
Anyone to share her life with. Right.
Okay. Yeah, she wants to enjoy it. So the business was pretty much her only social life. She does have some friends, but, the business is her life. So it's just not completely fulfilling. Her daughter, Terry, she gets an idea to help her mom. She's like, Mom, you have this huge home, extra room. What about we put an ad out for a roommate? And wouldn't it be just perfect if that roommate ends up being a hot guy and things turn out perfect?
There's a lot of ifs in this whole plan. There's a lot.
So, but, her mom's like, no, that's not a bad idea. Have somebody around all the time just in case.
So does the ad say sexy men only? Or like, how does she?
That would be the way to do it. I don't know how they worded it. I wish I could have pulled that up and found it. But no, they're just looking for a roommate for her. So they put the ad out for a room for rent and they begin interviewing.
Room for rent, non-female, non-smoker, non-ugly.
Non-ugly. I would prefer non-ugly, please.
Right.
So they begin interviewing people. 2 weeks after the ad runs, some charming guy shows up on Loretta's doorstep.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, I saw your ad and I'd very much like the opportunity to rent it. I need a place to stay. So Loretta is immediately like, hubba, hubba. Yeah. Come on in. So he's super flirty and she's really taken by him right away.
I'm sorry. Here's the thing. If it doesn't work out,
yes,
you have to live with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're the owner of the place, you can
kick him out. But...
Although also bad for him because like if you piss her off, they
exactly.
It's like a whole mixing business and pleasure situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe she should have gone into like a senior living community or something instead.
Right.
But
move into one of those 55 and older communities.
Yeah.
Go hang out at the like senior center and meet some people that way. And then, when you get tired of that guy, you can go, there's another guy.
I hear they're rampant with
I have also heard.
Yes. It gets wild up in them places. That future looking hot. He says his name is Taw, Taw.
Taw?
Taw. Oh.
Is that short for something?
I couldn't find anything short for it.
Tawford? Taw.
Yeah,
It sounds like his name was Todd or Tom, but he just had dental work.
They had to shorten it even more. Taw. So Taw Benderly. He tells her, you know what? I've just returned to the States from a trip to Scotland. I had something awful happen, though, on my way home. I lost my wallet, my passport, everything.
Oh, God.
I don't have any IDs, cash, or cards.
So how is he going to, he's just going to cook her dinner? How is he planning on renting this place?
Right, exactly. So even though Loretta's smitten with him, she's like, this is a little.
And he's got no ID. He's got nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And she's not dumb. She knows it's not a good idea to rent the place out to a total stranger with nothing. Right. So she tells him, okay, let me talk it over with my daughter and we'll get back to you.
Right.
So she goes and talks to Terry. A few days later, after meeting Taw, Terry hosts a dinner for her mom and Taw so that they can vet him together. Another weird situation.
You still don't have any paperwork, man. Like, I don't know.
I know, right? Huge red. That's not even a red flag.
References?
That's like,
can you
something you could provide.
Somebody vouch for
or
you,
like
anybody?
Go to the embassy or something. I don't know.
Or just like
papers.
Yeah, I will be more than happy to help you out, but as soon as you get a new driver's license.
Totally. Something.
No, man.
Anything. It's just weird. Like go to a shelter for a while. I don't know what you would say. But, she's like, it's not like he's homeless or anything. Yeah, he's hot. He seems smart.
The rules don't apply. He's hot.
Yeah. It's what happens in your pants that makes the decision sometimes. So they have this dinner. He tells the ladies he's a successful inventor and entrepreneur. And he's well-traveled. He's been around the world. He shares stories from all around the globe. He even tells them that he has a myriad of degrees that he got while he was at school, along with, red flag, Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Can Donald Trump vouch for him? I just need a single other human being.
Somebody. Yeah. But this dude, he's so charming and clever that it's easy for Terry. She's like, yeah, I see why you like him, Mom. He is wonderful. So she's also taken by him. They're like, so what have you invented? What are you working on right now?
Post-its. Oh, no, that's from
Romy and Michelle. Romy
and Michelle's high school reunion. We invented Post-its.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, let me tell you. My biggest invention, he's pulling on investments from all around, from business investors. It's a big invention. It's going to change the world of lawn mowing.
Wow. It's a huge market that's just waiting for some new inventions.
Right. I mean, people are chomping at the bit for a new lawnmower blade.
The world of mowing.
So it's a new style of lawnmower blade. And he claims it's going to overhaul the mowing industry. And he's so convincing that Loretta and Terry are drawn into his plans. They're like, oh my God, this does sound
Does it do
awesome.
it for you? Because I don't understand what could make it any better. Is it sharp?
Right.
Does it cut the grass?
Yeah. That's all that you would.
I mean, I get when it went from like a push mower to like an electric mower,
for sure.
and it didn't take the energy. But after that invention, I don't know what else you could possibly.
I can't remember what I read. It said something like it cuts at a different angle, so you don't have to cut it as often or something, and it makes it look cleaner. I don't remember, but
No, okay. It makes those fancy zigzag patterns in there.
maybe.
Right? You can pre-program it, and then it like cuts like a logo in your lawn or some shit.
Now that's a good idea.
Right? I'm a Cubs fan. It cuts the Cubs logo into my front lawn. Sweet.
That could actually be kind of cool, but this doesn't sound even to that degree. So I don't know what they saw in it. But a few days later, despite not having money to pay his first month's rent.
Dear God.
Yeah, Todd moves into Loretta's home. But fortunately for Loretta, Todd is really handy. So he fixes things. He's helpful. Loretta's like, yeah, this dude's great to have around. It doesn't take long for romance to blossom between the two. Yeah. So they become an item. So Loretta, because of her business with Terry, she's super involved in the business world of Arizona. She's got great connections with wealthy people. And it's super helpful when you're an inventor like Todd, because then you can get investor funding. Yeah.
This sounds like a Lifetime movie that's either going to end like a Hallmark movie or like a true crime thing, which is what we're doing.
So guess which one we're going to go towards.
The handsome stranger comes to town.
She helps him network his way into her friend group and associates. And Ta is so knowledgeable and charming. And, he gives them a whole presentation and they're like in awe of him. And they want to support Loretta, of course.
Are they going to invest money into his lawn mowing?
Right. They're like, this blade is fantastic. It's going to go worldwide.
Right. You got to get in at the bottom.
Yeah. And then the other thing I saw that they walked in and he had made a wall that's actually a speaker. And they said that they had heard the best sound they'd ever heard from those speakers. So they were like, this guy knows what he's doing. And it's a whole
wall speaker.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Okay. So they all are like, okay, we're going to help invest to get this off the ground for you. So they all give him some money. Dear However, God. I know.
I just can't, man.
I know. I'd be like, I've got $5. How far is that going to get you? No. So 6 months later, Loretta's friends and associates are like, yeah, we haven't seen any returns on the investment. What's happening with this?
I don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I see some rent.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I don't even have that. Loretta also is like getting concerned because she's like, he still hasn't even contributed to her living situation.
Right. Yeah.
Financially. Yeah. I mean, he does a lot around the house, but
for sure. Of course he does.
She gets worried enough that she asks a friend at the police station, like, can you just look into Ta's background? Because
she had a friend at the police station.
Yeah. And she didn't check before.
This was before the dinner. Okay. Was friend at the police station. Oh my God. She had that resource. She had
that resource and didn't until now. And it's been at least 6 months.
You're killing me.
So Ta had claimed to have several college degrees, from Penn University, where he attended with Mr. Trump.
When this is like Mr. Trump, right? So this is like, is this like 80s or 90s? There's no Google. We can't Google this guy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it is a little before that, but they find out through this background check, none of that is true. Sure. But besides that, there's nothing awful, like no records. No, he's not a criminal. So
that's his real name.
That's his real name.
Well, I mean, who would make that up? I mean,
that's pretty easy to look up. Nobody else is going to be Ta. If he had been like David or something, but no.
Right. Then I could see that maybe you just looked up the wrong David, but
totally. Ta is very unique. Yeah. It is not from Walmart.
It is not. Unique items do not come from Walmart.
No, we have learned this. His lies are a red flag to Loretta. So she's confused and she's hurt and she really likes him, obviously.
But how could this complete stranger lie to me?
Right. I mean, wow. She's so good at it. I can't believe it. He wouldn't have had to have the fake stories. She's like, you wouldn't have had to have the fake stories. I would have liked you no matter what. She decides to confront him and Ta is like, oh, well, I know I did lie, but it's really not my fault because my childhood was just terrible, filled with abuse and pain. And somehow that makes it okay. So
yes, I see how one way, equals the other. That's a direct line.
Why line now? Yeah. His story of trauma, it pulls it at Loretta's heartstrings.
Oh God.
She buys into excuses. I really feel like because she wants to, because she
of course she
really
likes him. She wants it to be okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Wants this relationship so bad. She's falling in love with him, I think.
Oh God.
I know. And she loves being around him. Loretta's friends begin pressuring her about the investments, and it makes it super uncomfortable for Loretta because,
well, that's why you don't get your friends
involved.
No,
that's why you don't involve your friends. They talk with Ta, and they come over to the house, and kind of confront him. And
angry mob.
Yeah, angry mob. What are we going to do? Where is our money?
Right.
What is happening? And he's really good at reassuring them. So he gets them to feeling like, okay, things are in the works. It's going to be fine. You're going to see your return soon.
You guys don't know how this works. This is the manufacturing period.
Yes.
Then there's going to be that we're in a different part of the process.
We're communicating with other countries here. We're having things done, and it's just so difficult. So they believe him, and it works for a while, but the same excuses keep happening, and nothing is changing. Loretta's friendships start dropping off. She loses pretty much all her friends. So,
oh God. She didn't have that many to begin with. She had no social life. Oh, God.
Right. Ta has Loretta and Terry convinced he's this business mastermind. Still, somehow,
and yet they're business masterminds. They built all this up.
Right. But I think because they don't have degrees in it and all this, they believe like, oh, he's got to be so much smarter. He knows what he's doing. I guess he is a master of selling himself, at least. But
he's a great salesman.
He's a great liar. For himself. And his lie, even though his lies were discovered, he still claims he does have a lot of business expertise. And since he always seems to have money somehow, even though they don't get any of it.
I was going to say, none of it's going to pay his rent, though.
They believe him. And I think it gets uncomfortable for Loretta to ask for it because they're involved, kind of.
Right.
So this is kind of an interesting background. Terry herself, she had struggled through school because she has severe dyslexia.
Okay.
And Ta had heard about a college for the dyslexic that helps overcome the condition for those that attend. And he tells Terry, for your business to get to that next level, you probably should go to this program to overcome your dyslexia. And he's so caring and genuine about it. And she really believes, okay, he has my best interest in mind. He's right. Okay. I should go try this out so that I can get better at business. So he assures Terry, you know what, me and Loretta, we have the business covered. You're in good hands while you're gone. We're going to take care of you.
God. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Don't touch their business. No.
Yeah. I don't know why they trust this guy so much. He must just be incredibly charming. So Terry goes off to school. And I think it's like 2-3 month thing. It's not like forever.
Not that long. All right.
Not terribly long. Ta begins taking over more and more of their furnishing business. He's all about the philosophy that you got to spend money to make money.
Oh, God.
And yes, he does. He spends. He takes out several loans under their name and he loads up the shop with merchandise. Yeah. He's saying the more inventory we have, the more we're going to sell. And
they were doing fine.
They were doing wonderfully at what they were doing. He's like, kind of seems almost pressuring them to make more money quicker than they had in the past. So he seems like something's really making him really want to make money really hard.
Uh-huh.
Terry gets back and she's ready to tackle business. She's got this brand new enthusiasm. She's no longer suffering as badly with her dyslexia. However, when she starts checking the books, she finds there's about $10,000 missing.
And she knows this because it's not like that she read it wrong because of her dyslexia.
Right. She actually seemed to be very good at this before.
Right. She's like, look, I handled it before. Now I can read things. That's even less of a problem. So you really can't hide this from me.
Yeah. So I really know you can't fake this.
Right.
So she is furious with Ta.
Of course.
She shows her mom and she is like, where did the money go? This wasn't reinvested. It disappeared somewhere. This has to be Ta. And Loretta is sure, oh, honey, there's an explanation. You probably missed it in this book or that. You know, we're always putting out bills and paying things. I'm just not as
Mom.
good at keeping up with it.
Well, I'm better at books now.
Right.
Because I went to this special college, and I'm telling you, this isn't right.
You need to listen to your doctor, who's been your best friend forever.
Right.
But sales did seem to be going well, and Ta had been reinvigorating the business. But this is when Terry starts seeing Ta in a different light. You know, that was her first. I don't know why it took. She tells her mom, you know what? I want the business to go back to just you and I. Let's take Ta out of the picture. There'll be less stress. I'll feel better.
Yeah.
But a few days after this, Loretta comes to Terry's office, and she's totally different than she had been ever in the past with Terry. She's cold. Oh. She's unloving and abrupt. And she tells Terry, one of us needs to buy the other out of business. We're not going to work together. That's Terry's reaction. She's just like, what? And she's so hurt. She's never imagined running the business without her mom.
You're picking Ta over your daughter?
You're picking sides. So she tells her mom, fine, I'll buy you out because this is my future. I want
you guys
to
aren't going to run it without me. It's my business.
Right.
Plus, I thought Ta didn't have any money. How you guys buying me out?
Right. Exactly.
How's that supposed to
work? So
with money you stole from me?
Or from all the investors?
That's not how this works.
So Ta tells them, you know what? I've got a ton of experience with corporate buyouts, and I would be happy to take over the paperwork. So,
oh, God. Oh, make it stop.
So let's not involve lawyers. It's going to save us all a ton of money.
Why would we want to do that?
Why would we want to make sure our backs are covered? So they agree. And it's decided that Terry is going to pay Loretta $140,000 over a year's time. This is the point where they start drifting apart and they stop telling each other everything. They don't have their weekly meals together, all that kind of stuff. So Terry, she does well with the business on her own. She builds it up more and more. And about 2 years later, everything's done and paid for with her mom.
Okay.
Then one day her mom shows up at her house. I thought this was funny. She said she was looking like a character out of Dynasty. She's, you know, like
she's
really
got
blingy.
Crystal Carrington or whatever with the big oversized jeweled earrings and all the Aquanet and the shoulder
makeup.
Pads.
The shoulder pads for sure. I mean, that's a must. Yes.
Shoulder pads for days.
Yes. So she comes in looking like that. And instead of hugging Terry like she would have done in the past, her mom slaps papers in her hands and she tells her, you've been served. Exactly. Terry's like, what? For what?
And then she threw water in her face.
Yeah. And she flipped
like the they did and then she pushed her down the stairs. Oh, wait, I've seen this episode. Oh, my God.
I know. So she tells her, you're being served. Her and Ta are suing Terry for the business. She says, exactly. She says, well, the buyout agreement was done incorrectly. That was Ta, first of all. And she says, well, I'm still legally part owner. And Terry, you're going to have to buy me out again if you want me out of the picture. I know. Terry's like the same. She's disgusted.
Is he putting something in her drink? What the hell?
Why is she so following him? So it's like she's drinking the Kool-Aid.
He cannot be that good in bed. I'm sorry. I know. I don't understand.
I don't either. Why is he so has so much control over her? I don't know.
Damn.
So Terry is disgusted. She's stunned with her mom's behavior. She never would have been like that in the past. She realizes, okay, Ta has completely manipulated her into walking away with her relationship with her daughter.
Wow.
The old Loretta would never have been so cold and calculating. And Terry, though, is like, fine, I'm going to get them out of my life. So she starts making payments again to her mother. I'm not sure why at this point she doesn't talk to a lawyer and be like.
Right. So who filed these papers that they were served? Was it Ta? Did he write up the papers?
Exactly. Who? Right.
Were these legit papers this time?
That's what I wonder. And maybe because,
get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. This time.
But she hoped maybe this time they'll stay out of my life for good. I'm just going to give this money to him. So Terry refuses to speak to her mom for an entire year. She's done.
I mean,
I know.
I can't blame her.
No. if your mom's like taking you for money and shit, it sucks. But eventually on Mother's Day, Terry sends her mom flowers and the two connect on the phone.
Nice. That was
nice. She misses her,
Bigger person. Yep. She was being the bigger person.
She really was. So Loretta invites Terry over for dinner and she wants to see if they can mend the relationship. When Terry arrives, the whole feeling of the house is different. Like she walks in and it's obviously no longer Loretta's. It is Ta's house. Like,
did she buy new furniture from not the consignment shop? Did she did she buy full price brand new furnishing? Talk about a backstabbing.
Totally.
Is this Ashley furniture? Do you guys have Ashley furniture? Is this Ashley furniture? Home Goods.
Get the good stuff.
Did you buy straight from Home Goods?
You did. Home Goods. So it's obviously no longer Loretta's house. Ta is in charge and dinner doesn't go well. He's very rude and controlling. And Terry decides I'm not going to put up with this bullshit. So she stands up and walks out of the house. Loretta runs after her and she's all apologetic, In
her new stilettos. Yeah. Click, 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 click. With her fur wrapped around her.
So she's like, what can I do? What can I do to make things better?
Stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What can I do?
What can you do? Terry's like, yeah, well, drop the lawsuit against me. This is ridiculous. So Loretta does. And Terry stops making payments and thinks, okay, maybe things will get better, but the damage is already done. Like their relationship is irreparable now.
It's going to need, it'd take a lot more than just, okay, the lawsuit's over.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for paying us double what we probably owed you. Right. Years pass and Loretta falls further and further into Ta's controlling clutches. I mean, they've been together years now.
Did he ever produce a driver's license or a social security number?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Like, did he ever finally go?
And why wouldn't you ever finally ask? Like, dude.
Right.
But
I'm sorry. That's right. He had a bad childhood. My bad.
It's okay. You had a bad childhood. Yeah. She's probably afraid to ask because maybe it sets him off. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Then in December of 2004, everything changes. So Terry gets a frantic phone call from Ta saying that her mom, Loretta, she is missing. And he tells her that he and Loretta, we took a trip to Tucson. We were going to have a little fun business weekend together. Don't know what kind of business they're in.
Yeah, I was going to say, which business is this? Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I dropped her off at the mall and she wanted to shop for a couple hours and I went to go pick her up, but now I can't find her. And he's a little upset, but Terry's like, well,
she's not going to be at my house. We don't talk.
Exactly. She's not here. So Terry's like, well, go back in the mall and ask for help. Like, okay.
Did you actually get out of the car?
And so he's like, okay. So he goes back in the mall. A couple hours later, he calls her again and he's explaining that, nobody can find her. And I've called the police. I'm reporting her missing because I cannot find her. And so Terry at this point is like, oh shit, something is seriously wrong.
Something actually happened.
Yeah. So she starts driving to Tucson herself. So when talking to the police, Ta doesn't seem at all worried. He's pretty calm. He explains, I dropped Loretta off at the north entrance of a department store at about 2 p.m. And we have plans at 4 p.m. to meet back up at that same entrance. So he said at 4 p.m. he went back there, waited about 20 minutes in case she was checking out or something.
Right. Lost track of time. Big sale. Big sale.
So when she still doesn't show, he says he goes into the mall to search for her himself.
Okay.
And since Loretta is pretty famous still in Arizona for their multiple TV commercials they had done over the decades.
Even with her new getup, like do people recognize her in her whole
I don't know. Carrington? Maybe. I guess so. So word of her disappearance spreads quickly because she is still so famous and well known to be so wealthy.
Wow.
It's not out of the realm of possibility because of her wealth that she could have been abducted and could be held for ransom. So the police are first thinking that. And they're like,
this is so Dynasty.
It's so, isn't it? It feels like a drama from the past. And in fact, Ta is like, yeah, we felt like somebody was following us when we were outside the mall. There was a couple of these suspicious looking men and they had a van. I mean, yeah, they do have a van. So,
okay. All right. Guys with a van. It's always guys with a van.
Yep.
Okay.
Police are like, legit, get it. Loretta, at this point, she's 69.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, she's also elderly. Is there a possibility she could be suffering from dementia and maybe wandered off, or she just got lost and kind of wandered off and forgot?
Does she have any of those symptoms or anything?
Right. And he's like, oh, no, she's been fine. She's been fine. But, Terry, she tries to talk to him. And she's like, I don't know. I haven't talked to her for a long time. So I don't know how she's been that way. But Terry, she gets there and she books a room at the same hotel that Ta and Loretta had a room at. And she's frantic. She's confused as to how Ta is like so calm. She's like, hey, let's get flyers printed. Let's go run around and try to find her.
Calm, yet worried enough to go to the police.
Right. Yeah. Worried enough that he's like, I can't find her. I don't know what to do.
Interesting.
Yeah. But police are like, something's weird about Ta from the start. They got weird vibes from the get-go.
His name is Ta. So, I mean.
They have a gut feeling that his story's just not right. There's something off with this guy. So they begin looking at the surveillance tapes from the mall and from the hotel.
Yes. Okay.
When Ta had checked into the hotel earlier in the day, you'd expect Loretta to be with him,
Right.
But she's not anywhere on the tapes. They're like, okay, that could not be that weird. Like maybe she's still shopping and he just decided
to check in without her or whatever.
Right. So they didn't think that was too weird. So they move on to the surveillance tapes at the mall. They do see Ta enter the mall, like he said he did when he went to look for her. And he goes, instead of looking around, though, he does go straight to the customer service desk and has her paged.
Okay.
That's his first thing.
That's a smart thing to do.
Right.
Instead of just wander through stores. Sure.
Totally. And after that, it shows him calling the police to report her missing. So that's legit. However, when they rewind the tapes further to the time Ta claims he dropped Loretta off, there's no sign of her or him. They're never at that entrance dropping. There's the cameras outside. They would have seen him walk in. So maybe they had the entrance wrong. So they go and look at each of the tapes from the other entrances. No sign of them anywhere.
No Loretta.
Never. They never came in together. Oh, and she never came in at all. Now they're like, this is really weird.
So where is she, huh? Ta?
Terry, meanwhile, she goes and meets Ta at his hotel room, where when she walks in, it's a little strange. Ta has 4 huge suitcases of his own filled with his clothing and possessions.
For a weekend?
For a 2-day trip. Exactly.
No, I am guilty of, as my husband says, we overpack underwear. Do you ever do that for a trip?
Oh, yes.
I'm going to be gone for 3 days, so I should bring 10 pairs just in case. Just in case. Because, so this way, if I shit myself 3 times a day, I'm covered.
Underwear and socks. Yes. Socks, you never know.
I should just bring an extra pair.
I do that.
And maybe one more extra.
All the time.
We're only gone for overnight, but I have 7 pairs of underwear and 18 pairs of socks. But
that's what I do. Well, and especially because the underwear, it might show under different outfits. So you might need a different pair. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
So I have 14 different pairs.
That's what we always say when we're packing to go somewhere. Did you pack enough underwear in case you shit yourself twice a day while we're gone? Yes, I did.
Meanwhile, I always pack that and I always forget pajamas. So
all the time.
Always. I don't know what it is. All
right. Which outfit that I packed will I be sleeping in tonight?
Yes, I guess I'll be sleeping in my jeans. Thank you very much. Yeah, that sucks. But this guy, he didn't forget shit. So he's got 4
maybe he
suitcases.
Was worried he might shit himself several times a day.
He is older. True.
Right. Exactly.
But the weird thing is her mom only had 1 suitcase.
Hey, at least he remembered to bring a suitcase for her to at least make it look like she was going.
But it gets more interesting. She only has 4 sets of unmatching clothes. Something Dynasty Mom would not.
Oh, no.
Not be okay with.
You would have matching outfits. And she's looking in there going, none of those shirts go with any of those tops.
Hell no. Mom would never wear that out.
Sorry. And in the 80s,
exactly.
Your shit matched.
Yes. Do
you remember the United Colors of Benetton where you would have if you had the purple, you had that purple in your shirt, in your pants,
in your socks,
you
and
had
other pair of socks that you layered over it. Yes.
Right. And a matching scrunchie.
Oh, for sure.
And you bought it all from that store because it all had to be the same shade.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
So there's no.
And the sunglasses. But this is 2004. Maybe her mom's getting a little crazy these days. This is a long time later. In fact, they had been together 18 years.
Holy shit.
At this point.
Went on for 18 years.
Years.
All right, but still,
But still, she's not going to go unfashionable.
Like their shit to match.
They like their shit to match.
You don't just go, I'm just going to throw that on with a pair of jeans.
Especially dynasty moms.
Exactly. Right.
While that's not super weird, I guess it could happen. Maybe she does have dementia. But there's a collection of knives, bullets, and guns Ta had spread out on his bed. So what? What?
Because he was going to do some cooking and hunt. He was hunting on this trip. Was this a hunting trip?
Maybe hunting the desert for desert rats. I don't know. But
armadillos? What? I don't know. What in the hell?
The counters also, this was what really got her. They are covered with her mother's very fancy jewelry, like very expensive jewelry, much more than she'd need just for a couple of fancy events. I mean, this would be like a month's worth.
And she didn't bring a single dress that would go with any of them, right?
So she's kind of like, something's really, really off.
Something's really, really off. Plus, she only brought one pair of shoes. That would never happen.
I at least bring probably 2 per day because, you never know if you get a bunion or something.
Right, well, what if you're going to go out? What if you brought sandals and then it got cold and then you need socks?
It happens.
You don't bring one pair of shoes.
No, not as a woman. Police bring Ta in for questioning after seeing the videos, and they see if they can catch him in a lie. And they're worried enough about his next actions because of what they think he's done that they tell Terry, you know what, do not stay at that same hotel. We want you to change hotels. Thinking he might try something on her because she did tell him about the knives and guns and all that. And they're like, no.
Does he know what room you're staying in? Great, change hotels.
Yeah, change hotels. So when talking to Ta, they quickly punch holes in his timeline he'd given the police. Of when he dropped Loretta off and picked her up. They'd already gotten word of sightings of him elsewhere during the time he claimed to be at the mall searching for her.
Interesting.
And they believe he had been out during this time getting rid of Loretta somewhere in the expansive desert because he had like an hour and a half that he couldn't account for.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Ta, he tries to make up so many excuses. And he's like,
did he tell them about his childhood?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Your childhood was terrible.
Let me stop you
Let's let
there.
you go.
I had a really traumatic childhood. Okay.
That's right.
And sometimes it causes me to not know where I've been for an hour and a half.
You're right. We should just let you go home. Right. You're right. Yeah. So one of his excuses, this is great. Oh, shit. I noticed my watch was off. So I probably had my times off. But you know what? Right before I got here, I fixed it. So I can't show it.
It's working now.
That's working now. So, and they're like, So he always has this.
My battery died in my watch, but it's working now because since that happened and before this interview, I bought a new battery.
Right. I was
Did I tell you about my childhood? Have I told you about my childhood?
I told you about That's great. But police are keeping him for hours. They're trying to get him to confess because they just know that's got to have something to do with him.
Make him tired and forget what he said.
Come on. And keep asking the same thing over and over.
Wear him down.
Wear him out.
Till his battery dies in his watch again.
Oh, the time's off again. Oh, shit. So they ask him, you know what? Did Loretta have her purse with her? What did she have with her when she went missing? And he's like, oh, of course. Well, it's all with her. She's got her IDs. She went shopping. So she had her purse with her. Yeah. So while he's there at the police station, police talk to Terry and they're like, hey, can we go check his house back in Tempe? She's like, yeah, go search my mom's house because she still is next of kin.
Okay. So he's because they never got married, right? They just went to okay. Yeah.
So there they go search while they're talking to Tom and they find Loretta's purse filled with her IDs and cards. So at her house.
No,
she's not out shopping.
Dude, you are not as smart as you think you are.
Oh, he done fucked up. So they tell Todd, well, why is her purse at the house then? And he is like, what? He is shocked.
How did it get back to the house?
Well, he's like, what are you doing in my house? He can't believe they're in his house.
Why would you go to the house? She went home?
Probably totally. Oh, that's where she is. She's at home. Oh, so they also check his car and they find a pickaxe and a shovel, both caked in dirt in the trunk. They're like,
why not? I have a pickaxe in my car. Oh, no, that's a snow brush. No.
Yeah, no.
It's not a pickaxe.
A little unusual. So they ask him, they're like, do you always drive around with those in your trunk? And he's like, oh, yeah, of course, because my favorite hobby is collecting geodes. Duh. So I'm out in the desert.
Geodes.
So I'm always out there, picking at the dirt.
I collect. That's good. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah,
that's a good,
he was on it.
I collect geodes.
So if I feel like there's a spot that has a geode, I'm going to stop and start digging.
That's good.
Yeah. He's really good with the on the spot excuses.
Damn.
When they ask him about his financial situation, along with Loretta, knowing themselves that she is behind on bills because they had started to look into all her shit, he claims, "Oh yeah, our finances were bad, but it's gotten much better lately because of my own business dealings."
Lawnmower finally came out.
Lawnmower's coming in. So, what are these personal projects you have going on, and who are you in business with? And he's never really able to come up with names
besides Trump.
Yeah.
That we went to school with?
Trump. He's doing it all. So he's like, oh, gosh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. They're in Mexico, things like that. So he never
Jose
really. Jose, Javier. I don't know. They're like, yeah, something's really off. From his cell phone records, they see I was in the desert just hours before Loretta went missing. Like, left the desert where there's nothing to.
But geodes.
Yeah, but exactly. None of their pressuring, though. They are pressuring him, like hours. None of it's cracking him. And without a body or confession, they have to let him go. They can't find anything.
Right. What do they? Oh, God. He's just super suspicious.
Yeah. And they can't hold him on that. So.
But the geode story is pretty rock solid. Oh, God.
Boom.
Oh, my God. That was unintentional. Sorry. My bad.
And they pushed the case back onto Tempe, where he's from. They give it to the PD there. And they're like, hey, we've done everything we can do down here in Tucson. Here's what we know. We think this guy's guilty, but give it to him.
Right. Okay.
Instead of returning to his house, Ta checks into a hotel there saying that, the police have been going through all my stuff. I'm not comfortable being there.
Plus, I already removed everything I owned from the house. I brought all my wardrobe.
And in fact, I think they do find that he had taken out $24,000 out of their account. And
what were they doing on this trip?
I don't know. It was a big trip for him anyway. I don't think he was intending on coming back. So he calls Terry out of the blue when he gets there, and he tells her, I have something at the hotel front desk for you. And he sounds really weird, like groggy, maybe drugged or something.
Okay.
Terry starts freaking out. She hurries to the hotel thinking maybe he's going to kill himself because he sounds like he's drugged up or something. She runs there. She picks up a briefcase that he's left for her. And in the briefcase is a power of attorney giving her control over all of his assets.
Over his assets?
His.
That's weird.
Exactly. So Terry's like, he's fucking going to commit suicide. He is committing suicide and he feels guilty. This is why he's doing this.
Right. Then we're not going to know what happened to my mom.
Right. So somehow she gets his hotel room out of the concierge. She's like, you motherfucker. Give me. So she runs up to his hotel room. She bangs on the door until he answers him. He's groggy. He's clearly taken drugs. So it wasn't just the phone. She's right. Yeah. He's on something. She's sure, though, if she gets in there, he's going to tell her what happened. She can get him to confess, she thinks, of what he did to her mom. So she's willing to say anything. And she had planned before she goes up there. She's like, I'm going to tell him that I'll help him get away with it. If he tells me where she's at, I'll do anything. Like,
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Let me help you. But the whole time, he's like, no, I have nothing to do with it. He's looking in her eyes. He's so genuine. But she keeps begging him. And she's like, you know what? If an accident happened, I'm not going to blame you. Just let me know. You were looking
for geodes and the axe slipped. What happened?
It happens. She's trying to give him that out. Like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay if something happened. So Terry's a very spiritual person. Like, she believes in psychics. She had contacted psychics to try to help her find her mom and stuff throughout this whole thing. And she herself believes herself to be a little psychic. It's okay. Her beliefs. So at this point, she feels her mom's soul enter her body. And she reaches over and straightens her just like her mother would have done. And they get up and they hug. And then her mom.
If she makes out with him, I'm going to vomit on the spot.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
And then
I was joking.
Nope. Then her mom
Kelly.
threw her kisses him. And she's like, no, it wasn't me. It was my mom.
No, you stop right now. You just.
I didn't say this. I just am repeating.
Oh my God. I was joking, Kelly. I was joking.
But you were right. So she says it's her mom giving Ta a last kiss goodbye.
I'm gonna throw.
I know, but she really believed it. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm
sorry. I keep picturing the movie Ghost. And Whoopi Goldberg.
And I think that's what she is kind of saying, that it's like she was
Molly,
the vessel.
You in danger, girl. Like that's all I can hear right now.
And I think she's saying, she's just this vessel, and it was their last kiss goodbye. And so that was very, very awkward for me. Yeah.
I feel very gross right now.
I know. Especially knowing that he killed your mom.
Right? You don't trust this guy. You think he did something to her.
Yeah.
Plus, this is your mom's
lover,
significant other.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Why? If you were going to throw up, now is the time, man. Where are you? Oh my God.
Yeah, I had to tell you that part because I was like, oh boy. Oh, what do we have? What's happening?
I seriously was just being an asshole. I really didn't think you were going there.
It was there. It was rough. Todd, though, after that, he does move back into Loretta's house. He carries on with life, but Terry herself can't move on. It's still gross now.
I can't.
Nope.
Oh God. All right.
So Terry's sure her mother's body is buried somewhere in the desert. I mean, all these sidekicks have told her so. She feels so. So she's going out constantly with volunteers from all over. They're digging all over the desert between Tempe and Tucson, trying to find
any geodes in the process.
They might have found a few, but she never found anything. She was trying to find any sign of her mom,
Right.
In her frustration, Terry decides, you know what, I'm going to give it another go at getting Todd to talk. So she tries to
not by making out with him, please.
Yeah, let's not. Okay. Yeah, let's not make out with him. No, she tries to call him and he's not answering. She's trying over and over and over again, and that's not like him. So now she's what happened to Todd. So she calls the police. She's worried something might have happened to him, and they tell her, okay, you know what? Don't go yet. You wait at home. We'll go and we'll call you back when we get there and let you know. Okay. Terry waits and waits. It's like a couple of hours later and they still haven't called her back.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long to do a welfare check.
No. So she's like, screw this. I'm going to head over there myself. So she drives over there and she starts to get close to her mom's house and she sees cop cars, police tape everywhere, reports.
Ah, crap.
And when she steps out of the car, she's recognizable because they know her. They know what's happened.
Right.
A reporter comes over and mobs her and they're like, what do you think of Ta committing suicide?
Fuck. Damn it.
I know. So Terry's face, it must have shown the shock she's feeling because the reporter's like, oh, no one's told you.
Oops. Did I let the cat out of the bag?
Yeah. So guess what? Ta hung himself with the electrical cord in the garage. Let me just give you all the details. Terry is furious. Like, this motherfucker. Are you kidding me? He takes the secret of her mother with him.
He didn't leave a note.
Nothing.
Come on, man.
I know. At least leave something and say, yeah, I did it. Here's where you could find her. But no, nothing. A few days later, the police have her come to the police station. Like, well, we've got new information we came across in your mom's house. Oh. They tell her they found a bunch of documentation that shows her mother's finances were in dire straits. Loretta was completely bankrupt. I mean, this is somebody who had millions.
Oh, my God.
And her house had been foreclosed upon or was being foreclosed on. In fact, it seems Loretta hadn't known her financial situation until right before her disappearance.
Oh.
In fact, she would write out like her monthly check for her mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. She'd give the check to Ta to send off.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Was he the keeper of the stamps?
Yeah. Why is he doing this shit? He's probably like, oh, I'll take care of everything. It's okay, baby.
I got it. I have all the prepaid envelopes. I'm good. I got it.
Let me take care of that.
You just write the check.
Mm-hmm. So he would wash them, like physically wash these checks, get the ink out, write it out to himself.
You can do that?
I guess. I don't know how he
wouldn't it have been easier if he just gave her like an erasable pen?
That would have been so much smarter. Come on, Ta. I don't know what he did, but he did something. So he was stealing the money directly from her. the authorities believe Loretta discovered what he was doing after she made a call to her mortgage lender and found out her payments weren't going through. So she had confronted him. And that's likely when he killed her and dumped her body in the desert.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
They dug up a ton more about him as well. He had told lies about his entire life. That horrible childhood. He had claimed.
Don't you tell me the trauma didn't happen.
He might have had some trauma, but he had claimed to be an orphan. And that was partly the biggest part of his trauma, supposedly. But nope, his dad and brother were still alive at this point.
Did he still have contact with them too?
I don't think so.
Just curious.
In fact, I think I had read they had shunned him out of their lives.
Oh, he's been shunned.
He's been shunned. Okay. And he'd also claimed he'd never been married, but they find out, he's been married twice before. And he had also ripped those women off.
Oh, shit.
So when the story hits the news after Ta's death, Terry gets a call from a lady that tells her, Ta was in jail right before he'd responded to your mom's ad for a roommate.
Why he didn't have any documentation?
Yeah.
Shit.
And this woman had worked for the jail system. She had been in a relationship with Ta, and he had convinced her to expunge his record. And that's why it had never come up in her background check.
Get the fuck out.
And then he had just disappeared after he left jail. So she had no clue she had helped him. I know. She thought she was going to be in this big relationship with him.
No way.
Ew. And so when she goes through her mom's things, she discovers Ta had taken her mom for $1.5 million in total.
Wow.
I don't know what he was doing with all this money. I know. And she also found writings. And this was what was so sad. Her mother had started writing about how much she regretted bringing him into her life and that he was abusive. And she was caught under his thumb. And she felt that at her late age, now bankrupt, that she didn't know how to start over. So she didn't feel like she could leave him, all this kind of stuff. So sad. She could have gone to her daughter. That's the thing.
I know. I'm sure her daughter would have.
Yeah. One day, about 2 years after her disappearance, rock hunters, funnily enough.
Stop it.
It must be a big digging area.
Looking for geodes.
They were out looking for rocks, which, on the western slope where we used to live, it's a big rock hunting area because you can find, and I know I've found some myself, with opal is out there. And you can find, it's pretty cool. You can just kind of go around and find it. And so that's kind of what they were doing. I don't know what they were looking for there, but geodes. They find bones instead of geodes out in the desert, buried under 18 inches of dirt. And finally, Loretta is found.
Wow.
So creepy because she is found with a bag still wrapped around her head and the plastic down her throat. She had suffocated in a bag.
Oh my God.
Like one of the most painful ways to go. Apparently that sucks. Terry is relieved that her mom's body's found. She can finally give her a proper burial.
And it's obviously was murder. It wasn't an accident.
For sure. Yeah, you can't bag yourself.
Fall on your head.
You have 4 or 5 minutes to try to get that thing off. Yeah. But she agonizes about not knowing that her mother had endured such financial and verbal abuse from him. It's my fault. I should have known. Yeah. So eventually Terry herself, she writes a book about her experience and she calls it The Other Side of the Crime. It's available at shopterrys.com. Terry is with an I. And proceeds from the book go to a nonprofit called the Doves Program, which helps older victims of domestic abuse.
Oh, that's nice.
So that is the story of how her poor mother, they would have had a wonderful life.
God.
And it was just kind of like silly choices.
Oh, this guy came in and just ruined it all for them.
And so surprising he stuck around for so long. Like usually those con men are in and out.
Yeah.
So he must have had feelings for her. And Terry really believed that he still loved her and was caring about her. But I don't know how much that.
Yeah. Or there was still money because they were able to keep suing Terry.
Yeah. Maybe he was sticking around because of that. But so sad.
Or Loretta was just so hook, line, and sinker that he just kept going and he just did it until he got found out.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit. I got a big one this time. Big fish.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. It's a sad story. Did you want to hear my sources?
Yes, please.
Tucson citizen, Jenna Bowersock.com. So
what?
So
Okay.
Jenna Bowersock, she wrote a book about the case called Bones in the Desert. And so she has, yes.
Could have been geodes in the desert too, but whatever.
There's also an Inquisitor article written by Tracy Reyes that had some good info. Monstersandcritics.com, East Valley Tribune. This is the show I watch. Handsome Devils. Season 1, Episode 8, Desert Rat.
That's awesome.
Another was Grave Secrets, Season 1, Episode 4, Her Mother's Secrets.
Those are some good ones.
Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, Oddies. Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM. If you're a longtime listener, hey, we cannot thank you enough for your continued support. And if you're a new listener, thanks for giving us a try. If you like us, please drop us a like, subscribe, or rate us so we can share our stories with more people around the world. And if you'd like more information, like links to our podcast and socials, along with our Patreon fan page, those links are all on Linktree under ODFM Podcast. That's linktr.ee/ODFM Podcast. Side note, you guys, we're obsessed with fan art, and we love making things with it, like stickers for our fans. So if you'd like us to use your designs, send it to us at odfmpodcast@gmail.com. And if we use your design, we'll be sure to send you a sticker.
Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.